Well, 2022 went by way too quickly. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today we have got the end of the year book tag 2022 edition. And guys, it's been a wild year. At the time of recording, I've read about 181 books, so I consider 2022 a wild, crazy success, because last year in just 2021, I believe I only got to 124 books, which means I have read 60 more books already, and that's mind-boggling to me. I gotta thank audio for that, because audio just allows me to crank through a lot of books. This is a relatively short tag. It's one of those staples of BookTube. You know, everybody kind of does one of these. You know, it was between this one or the Finally Fall book tag. I decided to go with the end of the year book tag, because otherwise I'm gonna wait way too long to record it, and then it's just not gonna get done. So we have got 6 prompts here, and prompt number 1 are there any books that you have started this year that I would still like to finish? And the answer is yes, and I've got it buried, so bear with me while I dig it out. And that, of course, is going to be The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And this is a classic. It's like, I think 180 years old, maybe even more. Like, this was written around the time of Napoleon. Because, you know, Napoleon is mentioned in the book as being relevant world news. And this is just one of those classics that I've always been interested in. And finally, like, you can see right there, I'm about 25% into this book. And I'm at a good stopping point right now where, like, we've had like a couple, like, you know, acts of the story where things are moving along, and I'm kind of getting to know Dante's and what drives him and things of that nature. And then I just kind of hit a little bit of a reading block. And, you know, with the move and everything, things just got so crazy. I was doing about 2 to 3 chapters a day, just kind of, you know, taking little nibbles out of The Count of Monte Cristo, because it's known for being a bit of a beefy book, because, you know, back in the day, authors just get paid by the word. And so you can definitely kind of tell that that's what's gonna, from what I've been told, that's kind of what happens here. So, like, not all of it's super necessary, but, you know, whatever. So my answer for this is, of course, in a long-winded version, is The Count of Monte Cristo. In this gorgeous penguin hardback cloth-bound edition. I need to get more classics like this. Like, I'd like to also get the Dracula version of this, and which is another book that could have easily fit this prompt, because I started it and I never finished it. All right. Number 2, what is an autumnal book that I want to use to transition into the end of the year? And for me, I'm going to go with Speaks the Night Bird by Robert McCammon. And this is kind of a historical fiction / horror novel that has been highly recommended by my buddy Scott, the Bald Booktuber. And it's kind of set in the 1700s, but, like, I think autumnal, because, like, it's got all those fall colors here on the cover, where it's got those oranges and the yellows, and it almost looks like a leaf and just stuff like that. So, like, this makes me think of autumnal, like the autumnal season. Yeah, so that's going to be my answer here, even though I'm pretty sure it's not an autumnal book. The cover looks like it, and that's what makes me think of it. And I'm actually reading it this month. So, yay! All right, number 3. Is there a release that I am still waiting for? And I kind of cheated here, because the answer is yes and no. Because I have an advanced reader copy of Keon Ardalan's The 11th Cycle. My buddy Jordan tells me, like, we're basically have the exact same reading taste, and he tells me that this is an absolute banger. He's about 250 pages in last time I checked in with him, and he says that this is absolutely awesome. This book is not out yet, but guys, it is out. Look at this cover. This cover just, you know, demands slaps. Like, look at that. Like, I'll just give it a good old Daniel Green slap, because, I mean, this book is beefy and deserves a good spanking. Yeah, we're gonna leave that in. Okay, let's go on. All right, let's go on to number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? And we've got a few here. Now, I've got A Big Ship at the End of the Universe by Alex White. And again, I've mentioned this in previous videos. It's been on my shelf for so long. This is book 1, and I believe the Salvagers. I almost said the Scavengers. And this has got, like, heavy Firefly vibes. and I just kind of want to get to it, give it a shot, see if it's for me. I've got all 3 books. If it's for me, yay! If it's not, I can create room on my bookshelf, which always makes me happy. Next up, we've got The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. And I know my buddy Patrick loves R.J. Barker. And I believe last year, it was either earlier this year or last year, he did a reread of this series. And he said it was so much better for him the second time around. And that just gets me excited because, again, bone ships. Ships made of dragon bones. Hunting dragons. Things of that nature. That just gets me excited. I've got 6 R.J. Barker books. And I've had the 6 books for over a year. I've read none of them. And then finally, we have got The Legend of Eli Monpress by Rachel Aaron. Again, my buddy Jordan that I mentioned earlier, we have very, very, very creepily similar reading tastes. And he says that he absolutely loved this. And then he bought it for me after recommending it to me. It's a bit of a beefy book, but I would love to get this read because, frankly, whenever he gives me a recommendation, it carries a lot of weight. And speaking of Jordan, I'm just going to take a brief moment here to thank my patrons, guys. Like, all the support that you guys give me through Patreon really allows me to improve the channel. I get to do, like, updated end cards, which I'm currently working on, updated opening cards, which I'm getting ready to start working on, and just all sorts of things with, like, better lighting, better audio, and just more stuff, more book hauls and things of that nature. So thank you so much for everybody who supports the channel. All right, we have got a couple more prompts here. And it is number 5. What is a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite of the year? And I've got 2 here that I don't really know. Like, they could be my favorites of the year. They're both gorgeous books. One I started and one I haven't yet. And the first one is Michael S. Jackson's Ringlander. I have started this one, and I'm loving it so far. I am loving this book so far. This became highly recommended to me by my friend Kayla from Kay's Hidden Shelves. And I'd had this one before she read it, but it's just been kind of sitting on my shelf. And then on a whim, I just opened it up and immediately read 5% without even blinking. Guys, look at this. This is one of those special books where the naked hardcover is just absolutely stunning. And I know Michael S. Jackson has a prequel or a novella. I don't know if it's a prequel or not. A novella set within this world. So he's expanding this world. He's working on it. I'm very excited. So Ringlander, or we have got Sewell by Jay Davis and Kay Grierson. And this is, again, live right now on Kickstarter. So this is kind of the, pre-Kickstarter edition. But again, another gorgeous naked hardcover. But, I mean, for some reason, the cover just lets me know that this is going to be an awesome experience. I have faith that I am going to love this. This has already funded on Kickstarter, so it is going to be awesome. So that is my answer for number 5. And then finally, the 6th and final prompt. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? The answer, of course, is yes. I would love to get more Stephen Aryan. Hopefully I can get to John Gwynn's Bloodsworn. We've actually got new releases from Stephen Aryan coming out. I'd love to get back to Anthony Ryan. Of course, I want to continue reading more Stephen King, more David Gemmell. Again, I mentioned R.J. Barker. And then, of course, I have to mention that I promised my buddy Alan that 2023 was going to be the year of K.J. Parker. I've got a ton of K.J. Parker books because Alan loves them, and I've only ever, we're just going to put that right there, I've only ever read The Folding Knife, and I feel like I need to correct that. So, yes, 2023, I'm starting to kind of, in my mind, think of what I'm going to be reading. I'm also going to be reading A Song of Ice and Fire with Joanna. I am going to be diving in with a bunch of great creators, including Bryce from Shelf Centered and a few other individuals. We're going to be doing Malazan. I'm going to be taking another stab at that. So yeah, 2023 is already shaping up to be very jam-packed, full of big series and great, great books. That said, guys, this is kind of, you don't really need to tag people in this one, but I am going to tag somebody. I'm going to tag my friend Tori from Tori Talks, just because why not? Tori's awesome, and everybody should be checking her out. So, Tori, I am going to tag you. And as always, guys, that's it. So, till next time, peace out and stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.